शब्द बिना सारा जग अंधा, काटे कौन मोह का फंदा। शब्द बिना सारा जग अंधा, काटे कौन मोह का फंदा। शब्द बिना बिरथा सब तंदा, शब्द बिना बिरथा सब तंदा। शब्द बिना जीव बंधन बंधा, शब्द बिना जीव बंधन बंधा।
Welcome seekers to today's spiritual satsang, titled Spiritual Blessing Lines and Hell Portals. I have with me today East Asia's main speaker, who is an advanced disciple of a perfect living master. So let's begin this satsang with the question on spiritual blessing lines. What are spiritual blessing lines?
Spiritual blessing line is like the lines of energy which cross in this world. And because we have these spiritual blessing lines, it's like a road that we can travel from one point to the other point, between the small portal to bigger portal.
Does that mean that the spiritual blessing lines spread across the world? And then if that is true, which parts of the world are more blessed than the other?
Usually spiritual blessing lines, because it's the energy, it's mostly the energy of the lower section of the universe, right? So some people will see this as a line of light that comes from somewhere and stop somewhere and create like a portal, that you can go into. So that most of these spiritual blessing lines will be in a very peaceful place. Like, for example, in Himalaya region, in a remote North Pole, South Pole, in a deep forest, where it's not interfere with a lot of human thoughts or another kind of busy, unnatural energy. But these spiritual blessing lines can actually connect and land into your house as well. Because just like electricity, these spiritual lines can extend, you can actually extend it to use it into your house if you have ability to do so. For example, the high-level saints, the saints of Parbrahm, the saints of Brahm level, meaning the spiritual practitioner that reach the top of the second realm, that reach the lower part of the third realm. They will have ability to draw these spiritual blessing lines near their place and connect into their meditation chamber, their bedroom, and make use of it.
Right. This is interesting because I wanted to ask whether, the spiritual blessing lines, does this have a benefit on meditation? So, for example, you go to the places where there is a spiritual blessing line. For example, you mentioned earlier, like, in the Himalayas or even in the mountains. Will we benefit while we do meditation along these lines?
Okay, it depends on your level of awareness. If your spiritual level is high, you can fully benefit by sitting right next to the spiritual resting line. But if your level of awareness is not high, just like normal day-to-day human being, not even seeking for the truth, know nothing about spiritual path, only practice the custom and ritual of the villages. Sometimes they not even be aware of the spiritual resting line, even if it's right there in their house. No, they
see.
can't. They're not noticing it because they're too heavy. They cannot connect to this kind of energy. But if you are high level guru, let's say a third guru, right, the guru of the third level, you can actually have full benefit of this breathing line. And the more you sit upon it, it's going bigger, the line going bigger, yeah, and more condensed of energy as well. It's like your plug to charge your spiritual energy to a source of power. So this spiritual resting line, when a saint of the third level, Sadguru, right? Start with the D, right? Sadguru. Sit on D. He or she can get the full benefit of the spiritual resting line because it contains the spiritual energy. Just like use your chakra, plug into this natural resting power that crisscross on this earth. So, for example, if they have a lot of disciples, and during the day, they give a lot of blessing to their disciples, and they feel tired, they feel run down, right? They can actually sit in this on the spiritual resting line to instantly charging their energy. But this is not to do with the soul part because we got power directly from the Lord, from God, right? From Master. This is for like more of the mind part that you still fighting for negative and positive. So sometimes being a spiritual guru, you encounter a lot of negativeness, right, from the disciple because you still have to take on the karma of the disciple and cleanse yourself by doing meditation. So this spiritual resting line is very useful for you to sit on if you are those kind of spiritual guru. You can sit and directly like download the energy to your chakra, to empower the chakra again and get rid of the pain, the suffering that you feel that caused by take on the karma from disciple.
There's also this term called the astral roads, right? Or astral path. So, is this similar to the blessing lines, or how do they differ?
It's the opposite. It's a road, just like the road that we see in this physical world. Usually, when people die, they will take this nearest road near their house, near the hospital, to travel into the overlap zone, to travel into the justice court. So also, Yamdut that gonna come and take you, they also using this road to pick all the spirit up when they depart from the physical body. So when this kind of road land, like like come near your house or even close your house is not a good energy because you will feel eerie. You will pick up some kind of sadness, and in the house, the energy will be depressing because there's a lot of ghost and dead energy that pass through this area.
I
You know,
see.
that's why sometimes there's an art of feng shui to counteract this negativeness of that area. For sometimes in this world, right, unknowingly, we build like new estates, new houses on graveyard, for example.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of like a dead energy, or even the astral road might cross over the village, right? Then sometimes you see that people put mirror, to reflect from their house and reflect outside, just to like bring more light to the house. There's many art doing that if they found that the energy is not nice
I
in
see.
the house.
But I just want to touch on, okay, we have talked a lot about spiritual blessing lines. I think the positive aspect of these lines. Let's move on to the more interesting one, the hell portals. Do they exist?
Oh, yes, they do. Many locations in this world have held portals. And actually, in particular planet, we have quota, like how many heavenly portals we can have, how many hell portals we can have, depend on the spiritual awareness of that world. And in this world, like roughly, we have 6 main hell portals right now. Especially this month is open, right? Open means the hellish being or the ghosts and demons can come up. Normally, if it's not open, it's only one way, meaning you can come in but not going out. You understand? That's why it's called this month Hungry Ghost Festival, and they said that hell portal is open. Only it's because those hellish beings, demons, they can come up in this physical world and roaming around.
Okay, just to segue a bit, when these beings and demons they come up in this world in this time to roam around, what's the implication of the surrounding areas along these hell portals?
Right, because the quality of the demon and hellish beings, they have quite negative energy. So when they come up in big number, so they can create like disaster. They can create like a bad event in that particular area, because those beings, they are not nice. They are like a fighting, bloodthirsty. They like to see like people fighting, killing each other. They like to drink. They like to have sex. They have, all kind of bad things that you can imagine. They just enjoy and making fun. Sometimes when, normal human beings with no precept, let's say when you have no precept at all, you have non-protection of anything, any angel, nothing, you just on your own. You're passing through this area of hell portal. Then this demon will jump in and possess you. At that moment, you will feel like, oh, I want to be criminal. I want to kill somebody to feel satisfied. Suddenly, I have rages, I have anger built up in me, right? then you start to destroy people property, you start to drink, you start to fight, you start to kill people. And these demons, they will hang around of that person, laughing, enjoy the entertainment that happen in front of them, making fun, it's fun for them, but it's bad for that person because that person can get injured, can go to jail, right? And without knowing, like, oh, what happened? I couldn't remember what happened to me. So my suggestion is that please try to keep precepts, even the precepts that instruct in your custom, in your religion. Please try to keep. If you can keep precepts, then you have angels, then you have a good power protecting you. You have like a good aura around you. So these kind of demons or bad spirits, they cannot piercing through and causing you to do bad things like that. So, you don't need to fear, or where, even you land or step right into the hell portal, nothing can touch you. But if you're not of a good moral or keeping good precepts, then yes, they can affect you big time.
Okay.
You can, they can even shorten your life by stealing your energy, even.
Does it mean that, whenever a war happens, where there's a lot of violence and conflict, and whenever there's an earthquake or, any natural disaster, does this mean that the hell portals are open or active during this time?
Yes, in some part of the world, especially the Middle East, that you see that, a lot of conflict, a lot of wars happening. And people over there seems to be, very basic tribal people. Yes, in the area like that, because it's the location of the health portal. So most likely, if you have very small disagreement, for example, only disagreement between tribal, it can develop to be a national war. Yeah, the war from the whole area where all the country get together and fight. Possible. Why? Like I told you, those hellish beings, they love this energy. They love to tempt humans to commit bad things. They going around whispering to the human ear, right? Do this, done that, kill that one, destroy that town, take them down. So yeah, it's like that.
I see.
So you can notice that, if you're born in a country when there's a lot of wars happening all year round for centuries, then you can know that they definitely want hellish portal there. But and also hellish portal can be man-made as well. You know that?
Okay, that's interesting. Can you elaborate more?
In this world, because right now we have animal industry where they produce animal meat, right? Chicken farm, pig farm, right? Cow farm, and the list go on. Salmon farm, yeah, for example, the list go on.
Mm-hmm.
So, because of the human consumption right now, we require the slaughter of these poor animals, millions, or billions number a day, right?
Yes.
So where they killing is so-called slaughterhouse.
Yep.
Will become a hellish portal as well. Because 24/7, there's always blood there. There's
Mm.
always killing each minute, each hour, millions, thousand, millions in number. So because of the killing energy, it's very dense in that area. So more and more, it invites hellish beings to stay there. And more, it's become as a hub of these hellish beings. Just like you build, like a bus station, let's say.
Yep.
They say, okay, new bus station happening. But the one that using it are only the hellish beings that love the smell of the blood, the smell of killing, right? They enjoy it. And they're just hanging around there.
I see.
So nowadays, yes, there's an increasing number of health portals, in the world because of this meat industry going on in this world.
What happens to these hell portals? Do they close over time? For example, the slaughterhouse, for example, they ran out of business. They decided to shut down and close. The obviously the negativity of the place will still exist. The density of negative energy will still be there. Is there a way to close this place? Like close the portals, for example?
It still will be there if the spirit still roaming around, even if it's not using. That's why you will see there's a lot of haunted place. If there is a mass killing going on, for example, if there is one factory, and if that one factory there's a fire going on, and happen to kill thousands of workers in there, right? And yes, that place will become kind of like a hellish portal during that time, and the place will become like a haunted place, until all of those spirits they leave, or they go to the judgment court, or they just go and reborn again. Then, less and less if they use. But it doesn't mean that when all of those hellish beings or spirits leave, the energy will catching up at night. It will still be as negative until one day, maybe somebody creates some ceremony to give the blessing into the place. Or so-called, start a new feng shui,
I see.
to shift the energy of that place.
Okay.
So therefore, in Thailand, sometimes spiritual practitioner or monk, when they want to learn about the astral world, they would go to graveyard, they would go to haunted house, they would go to these not so nice energy area to bring the light into that place, to uplift the spirit that hanging around there, by meditation, by recite the mantras, by saying the names of the Buddha, by, wishing that or the being that's stuck there can get out of that situation.
You mentioned earlier that there are some major hell portals on Earth. Do you happen to know which regions do these portals reside in? You don't have to tell us the specific place, but just the region.
In the Middle East, around the Bermuda Triangle, and I'm not sure about other place. Yeah, it's what I know of, but it's not really my interest anyway. because it's very dense of a negative energy that you don't want astrally travel there and land into there, right? To get all kind of disturbed energy. But it's just for you to know that any place that a lot of mass killing going on, day and night, they will create big or small hellish portal there.
I see.
And also during in that area, there will be a lot of hell road or astral road to connect to this point as well. So let's say if you create a slaughterhouse, a chicken slaughterhouse in one specific area, and the whole area, let's say within 5 kilometers, will be ruined because it's going to be a collective bad energy in that area. So whatever people in that area is doing, they will feel like, oh, there's a lot of struggle, there's a lot of suffering, there's a lot of sickness happening, around this area. So it creates big impact. Even unknowingly, they buy the house and they don't know, like, okay, within my 5 kilometers, there will be a slaughterhouse. It cannot, you don't know physically, but astrally or energy-wise, you will pick up that, something is not right in this area. But if you initiate from a perfect living master, you not operate in the karmic system anymore. You operate in the grace system after initiation. You can be anywhere, right? You can be even right next to the slaughterhouse, and it's not affecting you because you have master protection, because you have master grace. And in return, if you're very strong in your practice, you actually can help and uplift them unknowingly. Or the poor spirit that has been killed, right? They're just gonna come to you to get the blessing from Master, and and move on from that existence of suffering.
Let's move on to the $1 million question that I think some of the listeners are wondering, right? How can a normal being like us learn the art of knowing about these portals and lines? What capabilities that we have to unlock ourselves spiritually to see spiritual blessing lines, or even to identify hell portals? Is there anything that we can do?
Because inside your own body, there's an overlap of other energies body. In the physical body, the top chakra is a wisdom eye chakra, right? When you go inside this wisdom eye chakra, it will open up to your astral body. And in this astral body, you also have chakra. And the top chakra is wisdom eye as well in the astral body. And when you practice more, you open up into the causal body, which have its own the wisdom eye as well. So therefore, Master saying that, in this physical realm, right, in the karmic realm of existence, contain 18 chakras. Right now, when you reach the 6th chakra, you will be able to access, to see the world inside like a small peep from the distance. But the more you progress into 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, or until the 18th one, you will see everything clearer and clearer. you know. That's why you see everything in this physical eye. So when you reach the, let's say, the wisdom eye of the the astral body, yes, you will start to see the blessing line, the astral bird, right? But maybe you not see the hell portal or the heaven portal, because those will be like in a finer level of energy. You will have to reach the wisdom eye center of the causal level to see the heavenly portal and the hell portal. Yeah? And it's very useful if you only try to push yourself, elevate yourself on the mind path, on the mindfulness path. You rely on your own effort to make progress into this spiritual path, on this spiritual practice. Then if you go to, let's say, Himalaya region, that very dense area of heavenly portals, there's more than 30 portals. Yeah. For example, this particular one is in the Dharamsala. The Dharamsala is where Dalai Lama built a temple there. And in the temple where Dalai Lama sits, his throne, it has a big heavenly portal there. Yes, because Dalai Lama, he is at that level that he sees things beyond very clearly, and he has reached the wisdom eye center of the astral and the causal level. So he be able to build the temple and put his throne right into the heavenly portal, right? So whenever he feels tired, he feels run down, right? Then he can sit on that and recharge, right? But if you have perfect living master, we doesn't need all of that. You know, you can have knowledge about this, enjoy, listening of what I said today. But you don't need to run around in this world searching for heavenly portal to, to be
Meditate.
more saintly,
Yeah.
to upgrade yourself
Yeah.
spiritually. Because in this world, there's many, many heavenly portals, but most of them is inaccessible. Why? Because they don't want to be at the place that they get ruined by human energy.
I see.
Right. In Australia, in the middle of the continent, have you ever seen the red rock?
Yeah.
As a mountain?
Yeah, the
I'm
AES
not
rock.
sure what is the name.
AES rock, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's one of the heavenly portals right on it. But in order to access that, you have to climb up there. You have to reach the middle of the Australian continent first. You have to climb up and sit on there. So you get the benefit from heavenly portal. And you have to know the size of the heavenly portal as well. Sometimes is the size of a human, right? When we sit down, it's the size of us. Sometimes it can be like 4x4 meter.
I see.
Yeah. And sometimes it can be bigger. Yeah. You have to know the size. You have to sit, exactly in the location of it. If you found it, you know where it is. You go to that particular place where you have been told that there's a heavenly portal. You try to sit there, but you not sit in the right location. The benefit is not the same.
I see.
Like you put the charger next to the plug, right? But you're not plugging in. So what is the point of it?
Like maybe if you get to know that there's a heavenly portal, maybe in the forest, and then when you reach that place, you find that there's a queue because other people are waiting to sit down on it. That will be also
Yeah.
something to be expected.
Yeah, for example, in Dharamsala, on the Dalai Lama throne, are you allowed to go and sit on there? No, right? Because it's all only for Dalai Lama. Then you're not allowed to access to that portal. Even you see that, you can't, right?
Okay.
Let me tell you one secret.
Okay.
Because we are initiate of perfect living master. And perfect living master is just like God, that walking with us here on earth. So their grace is immense and boundless. So therefore, at the time of initiation, they built the heavenly portal right into our wisdom eye center. You don't need to travel far and wide to that kind of heavenly portal, because it has built inside you. But your duty is that you have to maintain it. Maintain it means you have to maintain it that is always open, available for you at all times. You have to think of the master. You have to connect with master power. Then the more you connect with it, the more heavenly portal will expand. Sometimes, for a very advanced spiritual practitioner, the heavenly portal can be the whole place of where they stay. You understand?
Yeah.
They walk in their own heavenly portal. Whether they're in the kitchen, they're in the living room, they're in their bedroom, they're in their toilet. They're in their own heavenly portal. How nice it is if you be able to develop that, capacity, which master already built very tiny, small one in your head, starting from the size of the head pin, the size of the bean, right, inside your physical head, right?
Yeah.
Then the more you practice going within, doing meditation as instruct, the more you expand that. The more you make use of it.
I see.
Then your family get benefit eventually. Right? Your friends get benefit because you carry it with you. When you go to work, you carry it with you. Right? When you drive your car, you carry it with you. Right? So people that come to you will be extra nice to you because they feel the blessing, they feel this energy. You understand?
Yeah, so you're like a walking heavenly portal being.
Yeah.
Right? You're mobile in that nature. Right? What about the fact that when you mention you can create a heavenly portal around your home, for example, or in your home? Will other practitioners that reaches the causal level have the ability to see these portals? Will they be able to actually see and identify, like, oh, this guy's home is special, he has a heaven portal right in his home? Will they be able to see it, or is only accessible to you?
Everybody will be able to see this because it's some form of condensed energy in the air that you can pick up. If you have been, open in your wisdom eye, you will see with your inner eye of this kind of energy. And anyway, subconsciously, human beings will have capacity to pick this up. For example, Yeah, like Son Ishwapuriji, his quality is full of love. Wherever he goes, is he radiates of love. So let's say his place, his house, will be a heavenly portal that have immense quality of love.
Mm.
Everybody that walk in that place will feel right away, wow, it's such a loving place. They don't know why, right?
Mm.
But they pick up the energy. Yeah.
I
So
see.
heavenly portal that you create, it will be according to your quality as well. You understand?
Yeah.
But most of the initiate that we are on the part of the soul, because the soul is love, right? So
Mm-hmm.
mostly the heavenly portal that we create wherever we are will be the love portal.
Ah. Okay.
So people will pick up loving energy. You understand?
Mm. I just want to focus more on the heavenly portals because talking about the hell portal is counterproductive in this satsang. So, with regards to the heavenly portals, does this mean when we say heavenly portals, does it mean that that particular portal leads you to a certain heaven, or it's just a
Yes.
gateway?
Mm.
Like, and is there a ranking? Like, oh, this heavenly portal leads me to a higher heaven, versus this one which is to a much lower astral heaven. Does it work that way?
Yes, that's correct. Your observation is correct. So some heavenly portal leading to high regions. For example, there's a particular heavenly portal in the sun, our sun,
Hmm.
that leading to very high level of heaven, and some heavenly portal in the world just lead to like a astral level. For example, let's say the temple near your house, because people going there worship the Buddhas or the symbols over there, and chanting morning and in the evening. So it kind of create a very like a tiny heavenly portal there. And this can, when you access that, when you meditate that, sometimes you can use this link to go to a bigger heavenly portal. It's possible, right? If you go to, let's say, Vajrayana temple, right, the Tibetan Buddhism temple, and you sit down and you meditate there, and you happen to sit on spiritual breathing line or small heavenly portal, and when you access into your astral self, astral body, then at that time you can do astral traveling, right? So maybe knowingly, unknowingly, you right away you can travel to the portal in the Lamsala in India, right? From that local Tibetan temple to the main temple in Himalaya, where Dalai Lama is. So the small one can also travel to the big one, yeah, by astral traveling there, and receive a bigger blessing, because you use the small one as a means to travel to big one, like small airport travel to bigger airport.
Very insightful. Just one last comment. So, with that being said, the astral, or not astral, but the heavenly portal we have in our head when at the time of initiation, especially for disciples of a perfect living master, that will provide you access to the biggest airport, which is your true home, right?
Yes, definitely, because this heavenly portal access to the soul level, which is not in the karmic level, in the karmic realm, right? Because it is built by master, right? For you to reach the soul level. So when you travel within this heavenly portal that's built inside yourself, you will right away go to Parabram, right? Go to the third realm, above Nirvana, right? And you can, travel up and up and up, and can even visit the true home, right? Which we call Sachkhand, easily in there. Only if you pure enough, only if you purify yourself enough to have a similar energy to that region, then yes, you can visit. Otherwise, you can see that from the distance, from your portal. Just like you use binocular, you see from here to there. Yeah. So that's master called peak. You can have peak here and there until you eventually get the real thing. So the portal inside our head, we have capacity to have that in each and every one of us, initiate or non-initiate. That's the capacity there. But only perfect living master that come into your life and give you initiation, they are the ones who have authority to build that in you. So you get direct access from here to the true home.
Okay, so in closing, for the initiates of perfect living masters out there, you don't have to travel the world, you don't have to look for all these heavenly portals, you don't have to go into a forest, climb the high mountains in the Himalayas. Everything can be accessed in you. It's already pre-built in you. You don't have to move anywhere. You just have to sit and go inside. So, yeah.
So I have more something to add. Yeah? The heavenly portal that Master built inside us. Funnily, when you're using it, and when you want to study about anything in this karmic realm, for example, you want to see what it's like to be on the surface of the Venus, right? You can actually ask the master, Master, I want to see the surface of the Venus. I'm curious. I want to know, right? Can you bring that to me? And master will actually, bring that portal that connects to surface of the Venus to your wisdom eye center, right? So it will feel as if the Venus come to you in the astral form. So this portal that Master built in is actually really good, really advanced one. Unlike other portals that happen because of the crisscross of the good energy in the world. So this particular one is like, let's say Netflix, yeah, where you can just select, watch documentary, educate yourself. But when you see all of these things, please not just get too excited. Yeah, just try to remind yourself that your goal is to use this portal, go back to your true home, and not to traveling around in this karmic realm. Yeah, sightseeing, because that you can waste many million years of doing that.
That's it for today's satsang. Thank you, main speaker, for spending time with us for this satsang. If you want more information about East Asia, please go to www.istaasia.com. You may also subscribe to our newsletter or email us any inquiries you may have regarding spirituality. Thank you for listening.